Texas. This is Fox 44 News at 6.
Tomorrow marks 19 years since September 11th attacks. On that day, terrorists killed nearly 3,000 Americans by flying planes into the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and a field in Pennsylvania. Fox 44 Shaquille Omari is live in the studio after speaking with one man who helped many people during that attack and now lives in Waco. Hey, Shaq.
Hey, Kendall. Hector Castro spent 20 years in the Army, but as a young man, he started working as a volunteer EMT in Queens, New York. On September 11, 2001, he recalls the attack being one of the most horrifying moments of his life.
It was like, I would say, the worst thing that I've ever seen.
Hector Castro vividly remembers September 11th, 2001.
Hearing the screams for help, and it was coming from all directions.
Castro worked as a volunteer EMT in Queens, New York. On his day off, he turned on the TV.
110 stories high, no word yet of any injuries or deaths,
and witnessed heavy smoke coming from one of the towers.
I thought it was just a movie or something on TV.
Minutes later, he received a call from his unit ordering him to report to the towers. A moment that changed his life.
Being a first responder, my thought was that I could do anything when it comes to helping people out and saving lives. 9/11 was a wake-up call.
Emergency crews rushed to save those stuck in the rubble.
Went into like rescue mode, I'll call it that, and just started grabbing people and pulling them out.
The 54-year-old says then a plane hit the second tower, triggering more falling debris. That's when a firefighter pushed him inside a firehouse to safety.
I would love to see that firefighter again, and I wanted to thank him for saving my life. It's been several years that I'd be thinking is why all those people that had died, and as close as I was, how come I'm not with them?
As September 11th memorials air on TV, they bring up mixed emotions for Castro.
Sometimes I try to avoid those memories, so I really haven't been watching it since I left New York.
But the Army veteran pays his respects in other ways, with this makeshift Twin Tower replica outside his home.
My work, my tribute to the people that died in 9/11.
He's now grateful for his life.
I had people tell me it was God's will. God has a purpose. Okay? And if you're still here, it's because it's a purpose. There's a reason why I'm still here.
Castro says he suffers from PTSD and sometimes forgets events that happened on that tragic day. He now receives treatment through the VA hospital. For now, live at the studio, Shaquille Omari, Fox 44 News.
Ranked the most accurate forecast in Central Texas by weather rate. This is Fox 44 Weather with AMS certified chief meteorologist Mike LaPointe.
A lot of clouds today and temperatures well below average. We didn't even make it out of the 60s today, 68. The high temperature, we're at 66 right now here in Waco. Winds out of the north at 8 miles per hour. Humidity, by the way, at 75%. Not much in the way of rainfall on top of us at this moment, and it's not going to happen. So we are talking high and dry weather this evening. Skies will remain cloudy across our area. A few sprinkles not far away from Waco, but again, that's all it is some sprinkles. Most of the heavier rainfall well off to our west from Wichita Falls through the Abilene area over toward Midland and then down toward the San Angelo region. That's all been tracking to the north and northeast at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. And the cloud cover, it's out there. You notice the clouds in the central part of the state. We're going to see those clouds overnight tonight, and we're going to start with mostly cloudy skies tomorrow. We'll talk about your weekend forecast, a warm-up, and I'll have the very latest on our drought monitor coming up in a few more minutes. Kendall?
Thanks, Mike. Midway ISD emailing parents informing them that 3 more high school students have tested positive. The parents of students who have been in close contact with the infected individuals will be notified. McLennan County adding 109 cases to the total count today. There are about 540 cases active right now. Bell County reporting 13 new cases, and the county inching closer to a total of 5,000 cases. There are currently 257 active coronavirus cases in the Baylor community. In the last 7 days, 1,600 tests have been administered, making Baylor's positivity rate 4.6%. Since August 1st, Baylor has had over 900 positive cases. The Census Bureau is stopping its head count at the end of the month, but local lawmakers are scrambling to extend the deadline. As Anna Warnke reports, some lawmakers warn that an undercount could have serious consequences for a survey that so many industries rely on.
New York Democratic Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney says census workers are scrambling to meet an unrealistic deadline.
They had to cut field operations by a month, and they had to slash their data processing operations from 5 months to 3.
The Trump administration initially asked Congress for more time, but now the U.S. Census Bureau says counting efforts for the 2020 census will stop on September 30th, a month earlier than originally planned.
They asked for the extension, and then why did they reverse themselves and drop it?
Maloney released a staff report on Thursday that shows states with an undercount of just 1% could lose hundreds of millions of dollars in federal funding.
Having an accurate count ensures that Texas will get our fair share of those federal funds.
And Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn says it's not just federal dollars at stake, but also a seat in Congress.
Some states will lose representation in Congress, and other states like Texas will gain additional congressional seats.
Kentucky Republican James Comer agrees an accurate census is critical, but says Congress should focus on getting a fair head count instead of bickering about the deadline.
I urge us all to focus on the task ahead.
The House passed legislation to extend the deadline in the HEROES Act. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell did not include the extension in the bill. In Washington, I'm Anna Warnke.
In our crime report, a 21-year-old man has been arrested in connection with a shooting that happened during what was supposed to be a child custody exchange in Belle Meade. Jaquan Davis was arrested on 2 counts of aggravated assault and 1 count of deadly conduct. Police say on the morning of September 3rd, Davis fired a gun outside a home on Lisa Drive. The child was not injured during the shooting, but police say 2 young men tried to disarm Davis, who they believe was targeting the boyfriend of the mother of the child. During the struggle, a 17-year-old was shot and the other was burned by the muzzle. None of the injuries were considered life-threatening. Straight ahead on Fox 44, a new website has been created to track COVID cases in schools and allow users to report unsafe work conditions in Texas classrooms.
And weather-wise, we're going to keep the clouds around for just the start tomorrow, then sunshine on the way and warmer weather just in time for the weekend. I've got